The Lakers and the Hornets deal is, in my opinion, the best deal that is currently being talked about right now, right? The only deal that is really confirmed that could potentially happen is the Pacers-Lakers deal. But the Hornets make a lot of sense. They've been rumored since pretty much day one of acquiring Russell Westbrook. They have LaMelo Ball out. Makes sense that they would want to just go full tank mode, try to go get Victor, try to go get Scoot, and just unload all their guys. Plus, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, guys like that are on long-term salaries. You basically clear your books. It makes so much sense for the Charlotte Hornets to try to orchestrate a Lakers deal to some degree, right? What those players are, it just comes down to what the Lakers can get, what they'd have to give up, and then what the Hornets would be willing to give in return. But very likely, Gordon Hayward, the Hornets would be very happy to give away, right? Kelly Oubre probably makes sense. And then it would probably be PJ Washington or Terry Rozier. Or if you could work out a way to get, all of them, that would be great. Kind of just unload all of the Hornets, like, key players. Like, hey, Charlotte, go tank. We'll take all these guys. Thanks. Here's a first for your services, especially if you're getting all of those guys. I can understand a first. But if you're getting like a Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and Kelly Oubre, right? Or Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Kelly Oubre. Like, I just don't think the Lakers should have to give up any draft picks. I don't think they should have to give up any assets because you're taking on long-term salary, right? Like the Spurs deal makes sense why you'd have to give up a first originally because you're getting quality players, you're taking on like reasonable salaries, stuff like that. This, you're taking on Gordon Hayward's multi-year salary for a guy that can't stay healthy. You'd be taking on, a Terry Rozier's multi-year salary. Like, it's a lot of salary to take on. So basically, Russ and those salaries are a wash. So now it comes down to, is Kelly Oubre worth the first? I don't think so. Okay, so no first, maybe a couple seconds. Now, PJ Washington worth the first? Yes, I do think he is worth the first. So I could see something like that. Well, it looks like I'm not the only one that really likes the potential trade of Gordon Hayward and the Hornets package to the Lakers. This from the Noble Savage over on Twitter said, best trade for the Lakers is that Russell trade to the Hornets for Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, and Kelly Oubre. We need wing depth and shooting. Buddy Hield and Miles Turner don't fix the wing depth issue. And Turner is made of the same brand of glass as Anthony Davis, right? Now, the Noble Savage, just some person on Twitter. They're not like some insider. They're nothing like that. They're just, just a fan. Just a fan talking about, a potential trade. But what is interesting, and the reason I bring up the Noble Savage, is because Gordon Hayward appeared to at some point like the Noble Savage's tweet. Gordon Hayward himself seemed to have liked that post of him going to the Lakers via trade. Now, it was there at one point. I checked. Doesn't seem to be there anymore. So maybe Gordon Hayward just kind of went and, liked it and then unliked it. Maybe he did it by accident. There are some forums and stuff that are now starting to cover this and talk about Gordon Hayward liking that post. So I'm not alone out there. I kind of looked into it. The Noble Savage doesn't look to be like some, troll account where they're just making stuff up. They just look like an account that just is a fan and they just put stuff out there. And it looks like Gordon Hayward did, based on the reports that I'm seeing, when you just look it up. But when I went to Gordon Hayward's likes, I don't see it anymore. So maybe he knew, this is going to get me in trouble type thing. So maybe he unliked it. But nonetheless, look, Gordon Hayward, I've said time and time again, Gordon Hayward to the Lakers might be the best fit in the league. Like, I think he would be a perfect complement to Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? A guy that can play defense, knock down the three ball, you can run your offense through, doesn't make mistakes, could give you, 20 plus a game if you need him to. Like, Gordon Hayward is a perfect fit to Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Problem is, the guy cannot stay healthy. The guy just is ridiculously injury prone. And that's a big concern. That's a big issue, especially for the amount that he's being paid and the multi-years that he is being paid. So that becomes an issue. But if you could get Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and like Kelly Oubre for no picks, like, or just like, a couple seconds or something, but no first round picks, I would do that. I really would, because at that point you have the picks to move off of guys if you need to, right? Like if you could get Kelly Oubre, who's an expiring contract, 3-and-D wing, who could get hot, coming off the bench, great, right? If you could get Gordon Hayward, again, could be the perfect fit if he could stay healthy. Now, hopefully, because he doesn't have to do as much on the Lakers as he does on other teams, maybe he can stay healthier, and you could kind of limit his minutes. So if that could work, great, but you're taking on his long-term salary. So that's why you wouldn't have to give up an asset. But now you got your wing depth, right? And then in Terry Rozier, you're getting a proven scorer, a proven guy that could go get you 20 a night. So you basically have, like, I think Terry Rozier is kind of a Kendrick Nunn. The two of them are very similar players. Whichever one you think is better is your own personal thoughts. But nonetheless, they're both guys that are capable of giving you 15 to 20 a night, right? So I think that would be beneficial, because either way, you could always keep one of them on the court. Terry Rozier's young enough and only has like 2 years left on his deal, so you could probably move off of him a lot easier. Kelly Oubre just falls off the books. The only problem would be Gordon Hayward. But if you have the first round picks, you can move off of Gordon Hayward. There is a team like the Spurs or somebody that's tanking that would take on Gordon Hayward's salary just to be able to get a couple first round picks, right? So if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, you need next offseason, Kyrie Irving wants to come to Lakers or whatever, you want to go get some other free agents, perfect. You have the first, you could go move off of Hayward. Now, if you could get, say, Kelly Oubre, Gordon Hayward, and PJ Washington, who I would love PJ Washington, then yeah, I would. You probably got to give up a first, which I could understand. But PJ Washington is a valuable trade asset, right? He's young. He's a guy that's proven. Like, he could be really good for this team. And you get your wing depth. To me personally, this is just me personally, ideally, if we could get Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, and Terry Rozier for a first round pick, I would do that. Just because I think because one, you don't have the risk of Gordon Hayward. You don't have the long-term salary of Gordon Hayward. You got a 3-and-D wing that's going to help. You got Terry Rozier, who's going to help, Scary Terry, and you got PJ Washington. All three of those guys are valuable trade chips to certain teams. You really don't have like major long-term salary, and you'd still have a first. Like, if you could do something like that, that would be ideal. But I would imagine the Hornets want the Lakers to take on Gordon Hayward. To me, it just boils down to what would that entail, right? Like, how many draft picks do we have to give up for that package? Because again, you could make an argument, a legit argument, that the Hornets should have to give up draft picks. Seriously, I'm sure there's some people that are like, what? That doesn't make sense. They're not trading Russell Westbrook for Russell Westbrook. They're trading him for his contract. His contract is an expiring contract that wipes away all of the Hornets' money. So, not only are you basically wiping the books for them, giving them a complete board wipe, but you're also taking on their long-term salary. There's value there. That, you can make an argument, is worth more or is worth less than Russ, right? Russ is more valuable than those two because he's expiring. So we're taking on your bad salary. We're clearing your salary. You're entering the tank race and have a chance for Victor. That has value in and of itself, whether you want to believe it or not. And yes, we're getting rotation guys, but these guys aren't stars. These guys aren't superstars. Like, nobody's giving up a first for, Gordon Hayward. In any other situation, the Hornets would have to give up a first, if not multiple firsts, to move Gordon Hayward right now. Like, if they wanted to move off of Gordon Hayward, they would have to give up a lot to move off of him, because he has multi-years on his contract, he's injury prone, and he has such a large salary. So right there, that is a lot more than anything else. So the trade would kind of be a wash. So I wouldn't mind it if we could keep the picks. And I do think it's better than the Pacers deal. I mean, look, if you have to get Gordon Hayward and Miles Turner are equally as injured. And I think Gordon Hayward is a much more needed fit and player. I think Gordon Hayward is a player that we need desperately, right? We don't need another Miles Turner. Like, as great as Miles Turner could potentially be, our issue isn't the perimeter. Our issue is rebounding, but Miles Turner has never been an elite rebounder. He's not going to save our rebounding. But what we need more than anything is 3 and D guys. Gordon Hayward is a legit 3 and D guy. You'd get Kelly Oubre, who is a legit 3 and D guy. You could start all these guys. Like, think about it. You could literally have a starting 5 of LeBron James, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, a PJ Washington, and Anthony Davis. That is a legit contending team. That is a legit contender. And you'd still have all that. You'd still have Dennis Schroeder, Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, Scary Terry. Like, this team would be literally like 15 guys deep. This team would be ridiculous, right? I just think it comes down to what are the assets, and is this deal even really on the table? That's the other thing too. That's the other thing we got to keep in mind. You know, like right now, the only confirmed deal we know of is the Pacers deal. Everything else could just be conversation, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that, do you buy this? As always, again, you know, take this stuff with a grain of salt. You know, you never really know. But I just thought it was interesting. I thought it was at least worth a conversation. And at least worth, you know, hearing your thoughts and opinions. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, whatever they are. Good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between. Let me know down in the comment section below.